bad scenarios that could have happened and one good, and I got lucky. But the next kid may not be if we don't make these changes. So, as Phil said, I prefer not to crawl over glass. That hurts. But I will fight. And I'm a voice where I don't take no for an answer. If I believe in something, I'm going to fight for it. And I'm probably going to make enemies on both sides when I do. But I'm a voice, and I'm loud, and I'm infantry. My only option is through the front door. There's no other breach. Like, we're getting it done. And so if you guys help me get to Des Moines, what you're going to get is someone that's willing to fight for you, someone that's willing to listen. And let's be honest, I grew up in Texas. I don't know much about very many things. My education was fantastic, kind of. But when I don't know, I research. I don't know crap about ethanol. I'm not from Iowa. We can't grow that in clay down in Texas. So I went and walked through ethanol plant just 2 weeks ago. Learned the process, procedure, talk to people. That's how we have to legislate, and that's what I plan on doing. If I don't understand something, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to make waves, but I'm going to do what's best for everyone. Because what I understand is all three of our representatives here understand. My vote doesn't just affect 80. It affects Iowa. And we got to do better for all Iowans. So what you're voting for isn't just a Republican to finally win this seat, which, by the way, is extremely doable. You're voting for someone that's willing to literally die for what is right. I tried that once. I don't recommend it. I still have the scars. Unfortunately, though, this would be the second time I swear an oath, hopefully less lethal. And as Phil said, I was one of those. I wasn't paid very well. I mean, between hazard pay, everything else, my housing, and I was in Cobb Wilderness. So my fob was the size of 2 football fields. No running water, none of it. I mean, we went back to Bagram when we needed stuff. And what we learned there was everything is about resilience. How you handle it, how you bounce back, and the way you implement new procedures. So as we learn throughout legislation and we learn district and what comes up, I'm resilient. I'm going to learn, I'm going to adapt, and I'm going to overcome, because that's what leaders do. So with your help, we're going to win the district. I think as of this morning, if I read my count right, we have hit over 11,000 doors. And I love it because I get text reports from the volunteers doing it, which is amazing, because yesterday one of them kind of made me chuckle. Some lady slapped her husband. Well, all I read is, so-and-so slapped. And I'm like, oh God, someone slapped my volunteer? What the heck? So I got mad. And then I opened it. And I'm like, oh, she slapped her husband. I was like, that was the guy on the TV. Under awkward circumstances, but I won their vote because how I handled it. Another one, Catholic lady. Probably wasn't going to vote for me because I'm Protestant. I'm non-denominational. Nope, I'm still better than the opposition. So it's great. I love door knocking. I love talking to the people. And, everyone goes, if you like it, you haven't done it enough. I'm going to say that's wrong. Because the more people you meet, you get to learn what affects everyone. You get awkward questions. Some people, I've even had a guy offer me a beer at 10 a.m. when he found out I was a veteran. That was awkward. Hardest part was saying no as a veteran. But, that's the fun, is I'm getting to meet people I wouldn't get to meet. And we get to talk. And one thing I've learned, which I don't know if it's good or bad or ugly, but I find it fun, is my phone number's on the pamphlets I drop off. My opponent ain't doing that, promise you. I've seen the pamphlets. My neighbor just got one. He gave it to me and goes, read this. They don't want to know what people want. I'm the type, call me all the way up till about 11 p.m. unless it's a crisis. Then, sky's the limit. I just may not be as friendly at 2 a.m. I get those calls. But I want to know what people want. I want to know what's affecting us, because what affects me doesn't affect you. What affects your neighbor doesn't affect you. It's kind of like PTSD for veterans. As I've learned, you could have two guys in the same firefight, they have different issues. It's the same thing with politics in the district. You could have two Republicans door to door, they don't care about the same things. So we learn each other by doing what we do in fighting and talking. So, once again, thank you for coming. We have a small silent auction to help raise funds for this. I'm not going to go the route of add zeros just because, I always make the joke. I'm not a business owner. I run a nonprofit, which, by the way, I was weird when I started it because I don't like the big groups. None of my staff is paid. We're not even allowed to bring it up at a board member meeting for 10 years. That's not what it's about. So my only paycheck comes from the Department of the VA, and Phil could tell you, it ain't good. I make less now than I did when I was getting shot at it. I mean, probably well, but, I've learned a lot by running for that. And a lot of people enjoy that. I'm just like them. I went from the union to the nonprofit. I was a union carpenter. Most Republicans are. And that's what people are lying about is unions down, unions down. I'm going with Cindy Monday to their big thing over here, and I'm going to prove them wrong. Because our BAs may be, the business agents, the workers aren't. The workers are waking up. They understand what the cost is. So help me get elected, bid on the items, enjoy yourself.